did someone accuse you of making something up that was actually deadly serious? I tried to warn a private school about a pipe bomb in a student's backpack, and the principal accused me of trying to leave work early. I spent 6 years in Army Explosive Ordnance Disposal, defusing bombs before becoming a substitute teacher in the suburbs outside Atlanta, and most days the job involves showing movies and breaking up fights over who gets to use the good calculator. That Tuesday started like any other substitute assignment at this elite private academy, until I walked past the AP chemistry lab during lunch and saw something that made my blood freeze. This kid had his backpack open on the lab bench, and inside was a metal pipe with wires coming out of both end caps, and I recognized that configuration immediately because I'd seen dozens just like it in Afghanistan. I knocked on the doorframe and asked the student what he was working on while keeping my voice casual and friendly. "Just finishing up my electronics project for the science fair next month," he said, while carefully wrapping electrical tape around the wires. The smell hit me next, and it was that distinct, sharp odor of smokeless powder that you never forget once you've smelled it mixed with fear and adrenaline. I asked him if I could take a closer look at his project, and he quickly zipped up his backpack saying he wasn't ready to show anyone yet. The way he protective clutched that bag told me everything I needed to know about what was really happening here. I walked straight to the principal's office where he was eating lunch at his desk and scrolling through emails on his computer. "We need to evacuate the building immediately because there's an explosive device in a student's backpack in the chemistry lab," I said without any preamble. He looked up at me with this expression of pure annoyance like I'd just interrupted something deeply important. "What exactly are you talking about?" he asked while setting down his sandwich. I explained what I'd seen in the lab and my military background defusing bombs. He actually laughed, and not just a chuckle, but a full belly laugh that made his face turn red. "Let me guess, you report a bomb threat, school evacuates, and you get to go home at noon but still get paid for a full day?" He shook his head while pulling up something on his computer screen. "That's the oldest substitute trick in the book, and I've seen it a dozen times." I tried explaining that pipe bombs were literally my specialty for 6 years, but he cut me off. "Looking at today's schedule here, isn't it convenient that you suddenly discover a bomb right before the longest stretch of your day?" He turned his monitor toward me, showing today's class schedule. 7 periods, including that double block of PE this afternoon that you probably saw on the lesson plan and decided you didn't want to deal with. "Sir, that device has live explosives, and it could badly hurt multiple students," I said, while pulling out my phone to show him photos from my bomb disposal days. He stood up and pointed toward the door with his face getting darker. "If you call in a false bomb threat, I'll make sure you never work in this district again, and I'll pursue criminal charges for causing panic." The dismissal in his voice was absolute, and I could see he'd made up his mind that I was just another lazy substitute trying to scam the system. My brother-in-law is a sheriff's deputy, and filing false reports is a felony that carries serious jail time. I left his office and immediately called 911 from the parking lot, explaining the situation to the dispatcher, who took my military background seriously. The bomb squad arrived 15 minutes later, and I watched from across the street as they evacuated the building, while the principal stood there arguing with the squad leader. They sent in their robot first, and I saw the moment on the principal's face when the technician confirmed it was a live device. The controlled detonation in the empty courtyard shattered windows 3 blocks away and sent a plume of smoke into the clear afternoon sky. The bomb squad captain found me afterward and shook my hand, saying the kid had apparently been planning something for the spring dance based on journal entries they found. The principal appeared 20 minutes later with his suit covered in dust from the blast and his hands visibly shaking. "I almost got everyone hurt because I thought you wanted to skip PE class," he said quietly. The student was arrested and charged with domestic terrorism while the school stayed closed for a week for the investigation. They offered me a full-time position as their security consultant, which I accepted, and on my first day, I found a handwritten note on my desk from the principal that simply said, "Thank you for not giving up when I didn't listen."